Hey kids, welcome back to Library with Nick. It's wonderful to see all of you. Let's start our library time today with our three things that never change. As always, number one, I like you just the way you are. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life or what's going on in my life. That doesn't change. Number two, I'm happy you're here today. I'm happy you're watching a video today and reading a story and doing some thinking about that story. Number three, my expectations. And we don't have to do all our expectations because this is just a video, but I'll just do the first one. Make sure that you're kind and respectful to everyone around you today. Definitely helps out your household when you're kind to the people inside of it. All right, let's get to the story. We've been reading this last week, actually these last couple weeks, about growth mindset. And we've been reading about differences between fiction and nonfiction. So this last week, we looked at what is a nonfiction book and how can we tell? We realized that if we looked at the characters, the setting, the story, and even the pictures, that can help us tell if it's a nonfiction story. So today, I have another nonfiction story. Although this story definitely has painted and drawn pictures that don't look entirely realistic, it's still a true story. And let's see if you can pick up some of the clues inside of it. I also like the story a lot because our main character, Alan here, he has a really strong growth mindset. He doesn't let things get him down even when he fails or has a tough time. So let's see what happens. This is A Boy and a Jaguar. A Boy and a Jaguar, written by Alan Rabinowitz, illustrated by Katia Tien. I'm standing in the great cat house at the Bronx Zoo. Why is this jaguar kept in a bare room, I wonder? I lean toward my favorite animal and I whisper to her. What are you doing? My father asks. I try to explain, but my mouth freezes, just as I knew it would. I am a stutterer, and if I try to push the words out, my head and body shake uncontrollably. So there's different kinds of stuttering, and it can happen across any language, even sign language. But stuttering is really hard to push the words out. You can think them, but when they come out of your mouth or your hands, it doesn't always work. I actually have, my brother is a stutterer, and he'll have that happen to him. He'll say something and he gets caught on a word or tries to say it, and it ends up sounding like that. So I do a little bit of it in this story so you can kind of feel what Alan feels like. The teachers at school put me in a class for disturbed children. He's not disturbed, my parents say. We're sorry, the teacher answers, but whenever he tries to speak, he disrupts the whole class. The teachers think that I am broken. Am I? But I can do two things without stuttering. One is to sing. Only I can't sing very well. And the other is to talk to animals. Every day I come home from class and I go straight to the closet in my room and I bring out my pets, a hamster, a gerbil, a green turtle, a chameleon, and a garter snake. I close the door and I talk to them without stuttering. I tell them my dreams. I tell them that I want to be able to speak like everyone else. I know that my pets listen and understand. Animals can't get the words out, just like I can't get the words out. So people ignore or misunderstand or hurt them, the same way people ignore or misunderstand or hurt me. I make a promise to my pets. I promise that if I can ever find my voice, I will be their voice and keep them from harm. My parents try everything to help me. Doctor after doctor, medicine and hypnosis, nothing works. But my father knows the one thing that does work. He takes me to the great cat house at the Bronx Zoo. I go straight to the cage with the lone jaguar. I lean over the railing and put my face against the bars, and I whisper my promise to her, fluently, without stuttering. I get through school by learning tricks that stutterers learn. I learn when not to speak, when to avoid situations, and when to just not be around people. When I'm in college, my parents enroll me in an experimental program. There, I'm told that I'm a stutterer, and I will always be a stutterer. Always. But the teacher tells me if I work hard, I can be a completely fluent stutterer. I think about how my mouth moves and how the air flows, and for the first time in years, I can speak without stuttering. I can speak, but nothing has changed on the inside. I still feel broken. I go to the Great Smoky Mountains to study black bears. Alone in the forest with the animals, I'm at home. Later, in Belize, in Central America, I am the first person to study jaguars. The jungle makes me feel more alive than I have ever felt. I learned how to follow and capture jaguars for study before releasing them back into the wild. I'm happy. But as fast as I catch jaguars and gather information to help them, hunters are killing them. They fear the animals and they prize their bodies as trophies. I need to get more areas protected for the jaguars. I want to keep the promise I made to the pets in my closet. I have a voice now to speak for the animals. In the capital city of Belize, in the office of the Prime Minister, I am given 15 minutes to make my case. 15 minutes. I can't stutter and distract from my message. I have to convince one of the poorest countries in Central America that has no protected areas in the entire country that it has to save the jaguars. Later that day, the Prime Minister votes to set up the world's first and only jaguar preserve. Back in the jungle, I know all the jaguars in the study area from their tracks. But one day, I come across a completely new track, the biggest male jaguar tracks I have ever seen. I follow the prints for hours, not wanting to be caught in the jungle at night without a flashlight. I turn around and go back to the camp. And there, right behind me, is the jaguar. He must have been following me. I know I should feel frightened, but I squat down and I look into the jaguar's eyes, just as I had with the sad old female jaguar at the Bronx Zoo. This animal isn't sad. In this animal's eyes are strength and power and a sureness of purpose. We are both whole, and we are both at home. I lean toward him a little, the way I had at the Bronx Zoo so many years before, and I whisper, "Thank you." Thanks for listening to our story today. In the comments on this lesson, I want you to think about what parts of the story make it seem like it's a nonfiction story, and what parts of the story make it seem like Alan had a growth mindset. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember, you make each day special just by being you. I'll see you all next time.